what gives City of Houston its flavor.
We've always been a city of amazing innovation.
Get your shot, go back and enjoy.
I grew up in this community. I grew up in this area. Still live in this area.
Look out, the City of Houston is on its way. It's on its way.
The hope was that by the end of 2020, we would be moving past COVID, and 2021 would be much, much better. But there were some positive things that were happening at the same time. You know, we started placing an emphasis on creating this innovative ecosystem. You know, we were looking at developing the ION, which was going to be the innovation hub between the innovation corridor from downtown to the medical center.
Welcome to Greentown, Houston.
Thanks, it's good to be back. And then right across the street from the ION was Greentown Labs Houston, where the largest incubator on the North American continent was expanding from the Boston area to the city of Houston, right across the street from the ION, what used to be the Fiesta, where the focus was on clean tech. Then at the same time, in 2021, the opening of the TXRX, which was like the counterpart of the ION. ION in Midtown, you know, Third Ward. TXRX was going to take place in East Houston, in the East End, and that was going to be focused on innovation as it relates to manufacturing. And then we had the Cannon that was really taking off. It had already started, but that one was really flourishing in West Houston. And then, of course, to the southeast was the spaceport that was taking place at Ellerton Field. And again, that focus was on aeronautics.
Houston is leading the way.
But this is the most diverse city in the country. You want everyone to be a part of this new ecosystem. And so you have the Houston Impact Fund, where the focus was going to be on underrepresented people or persons of color, women who were the underrepresented founders. And that then made the ecosystem much more reflective of the diversity of our city. Complete communities, you know, what is that? And it's very ambitious because the focus is on improving communities that have been underserved for decades in terms of housing, economic job business opportunities, parks and green space, quality neighborhood schools, infrastructure.
Today we're here to celebrate the life and the death.
After the murder of George Floyd, people started having a greater appreciation of complete communities and what it meant and the significance of it. Because it was important, and it has always been important, to invest in these communities before a flashpoint occurs. So we've selected 10 throughout the city of Houston, where we are putting in, for example, multi-service centers where they've been waiting for a long time. Like A-Leaf. A-Leaf's been waiting on that multi-service center for 20 plus years. But in 2022, that multi-center, we're going to cut the ribbons on that multi-center. Either in 2022 or 2023, we'll cut the ribbon on that multi-service center in Sunnyside.
And we look forward to having a larger space in the multipurpose center.
By building housing, multifamily developments, like in Fort Bend.
Welcome to the grand opening of Edison Lofts and the Pre-Kindergarten Early Learning Center.
Building up and enhancing parks and green space.
Today we're in District of Destination celebrating the renovation of our park.
Now we have excellent signature parks, but I'm talking about the 350 local neighborhood parks. So when you look at complete communities, I think we've made significant progress, okay? We're not nearly completed, but we are being very directional, very intentional. We're making progress, and where people can actually see what's taking place in their particular neighborhoods. Well, I think you can measure the greatness of any city by the challenges that you face. And this city certainly has faced these challenges. COVID has been challenging. Several municipal employees, firefighters, police officers who suffered from the COVID-19 and no longer with us.
The city has reached a grim milestone.
That the rate of people who are getting ill and getting hospitalized is rising at a greater rate.
3,000 COVID-related deaths.
Area of our city has been impacted. You know, police, fire, municipal workers, people in public works. We're still mourning their loss, but at the same time, you know, city employees have shown up, they've done their jobs, and they've done their jobs exceptionally well.
We're having some structural issues that could be catastrophic, and we need everybody together.
Look, a lot of people in Houston were deeply saddened and heartbroken about
the 10 persons who have died as a result of Astor World Fest. Families that have lost loved ones forever. One is as young as 9 years old.
The agencies represented here today are committed to doing whatever we can to stop the maddening acts of violence.
We've had people in our city, for example, who have died from gun violence. Whether it was domestic violence, whether it was gang violence, whether it's people, for example, who just created heinous crimes that you just can't justify.
Police reform is society's reform.
The city council, myself, we implemented what we call the 8 Can't Wait, an executive order that said, you know, you have a right to intervene, de-escalate, don't just be firing and moving vehicles, reporting incidents of the use of deadly force. I put together a task force made of 45 persons, 9 elected officials. They made 104 recommendations, and we are now well on the way of implementing those recommendations. We're not perfect, but I believe the reforms that we have put in place have significantly improved the relationships and the accountability as it relates to police and community and police.
Brutal cold weather here.
I have never seen our Houston streets look like this before.
They have no power to even boil water.
We've had tragedies, whether it's from natural disasters, whether it's from the winter storm Uri in February of 2021, where more than 200 Texans lost their lives from that winter storm. It's a reminder, if we had to be reminded, that climate change is real.
Houston Mayor Sylvester Turner is at the United Nations Climate Change Conference in Scotland.
The biggest climate change conference in the world was there to tell Houston's story and what we are doing. All of the city's facilities, all, are 100% powered by renewables. We purchase and utilize more renewables than any other city, in the country. We're focused on electrifying our transportation fleet, and then the goal is in between now and 2030 to plant more than 4.6 million trees. I always get a great deal of joy just hanging out with my family. My daughter, for example, was proposed to, and that took place in January of 2021, so that was at the beginning. Quite frankly, when Jimmy asked her, I answered before she did, said yes. 2021, in spite of the challenges, we've done a lot of great things as a city. We're going into the future, I feel very optimistic, and we've proven to be very resilient. We get knocked down, but we bounce back up. So just like the Astros. This time around in 2021, they didn't win the World Series, but at least they took us to the World Series. At a time when Houstonians needed that lift. As we look to 2022, tomorrow will be better than today. Today is rough, sun, tomorrow will be better. It's raining today, stick around, the sun will come out. It will not rain forever.
We want to be one city that no matter where you come from, no matter your language, no matter your religion, no matter your faith, no matter your age, no matter your sexual orientation, in this city, we stand and rise as one. Welcome to the new dawn of our future.
Come on, mother.